Lurking in the shadows is a predator unlike any other. Cities all over the nation be on alert. This predator doesn't slow down. It doesn't take a break. It's always on the prowl. Joining you on the prowl to talk Jacksonville Jaguars is Dan Tortora. Jaguars!
On the Prowl here, Jacksonville Jaguars conversation here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. From the cool breezes of Syracuse and central and upstate New York to the warm weather of Jacksonville, Florida. The irony, though, on this morning's show, every Monday we have the Monday morning quarterback with Marvin Graves around 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. And in the second hour of the show around 10 a.m., we have On the Prowl Jacksonville Jaguars coverage. And the irony of waking up this morning and where it's cool in the country, the team is heating up for Syracuse. And where it's warmer in the country and in the 70s in the country and people are still swimming in the country, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not swimming as much as they're drowning, and even though they have the warm weather, they have almost completely cooled off. And I know, and I don't want this to sound like a broken record by any stretch of the imagination, but the reality of the reality of the reality is simply this. It is not all Blake Bortles' fault. And is he making mistakes? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, he is making mistakes. But it is not all of Blake Bortles' fault. And the reason why I say this to you is plain and simple. Go back and look at everything. Go back and understand what's going on. Because in this game, there were at least 5 dropped balls. DJ Chark had a touchdown that he had to play on the ball twice and didn't get his hands around it, and then ultimately tried again and didn't get his hands around it again before the ball went out of bounds. So you can't blame Blake for that. And you also can't blame Blake. Now, I understand there is a point to the more that the defense is on the field, the higher chance they're going to make a mistake. They're going to get fatigued no matter how good they are. They're going to have a moment. And that is true. That is absolutely true. That the longer the defense is on the field, the bigger the chance that they're going to make mistakes. But this defense has made way too many mistakes. And in the last 4 weeks has looked atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And you cannot blame Blake Bortles for that. You can't blame Blake Bortles for missed tackles. You can't blame Blake Bortles for missed opportunities on the defensive side of the ball, because that has nothing to do with Blake. That is not Blake's fault. Now, again, I get it, and I've made the statement before that this team, and any team who has the defense on the field forever and a day, is going to have some issues. However, this defense came in to this season as arguably the best defense in the country. They have looked nothing close to that. They have absolutely fallen off. And it's been ugly. Now, Blake has to do a better job. But when you see Blake's numbers and you say Blake is 24 or 41, yeah, add in a bunch of drops. And now he's 30 of 41. 29 of 40. A lot closer than what it looks like. The team has struggled to run the ball at all without Leonard Fournette. They had 17 carries for 70 yards. Blake Bortles, again, was the leading rusher for the team with 8 carries for 43 yards. Carlos Hyde, 6 carries for 11 yards. D.D. Westbrook had 1 carry for 9 yards. T.J. Yeldon had 2 carries for 7 yards. But T.J., and then, see, here's another issue. So T.J. Yeldon not getting it done on the ground, which I said, he's more of a receiving back than he is a runner. And it's been proven this season by the numbers that is true. And I'm not going to say it unless, they say don't say it unless you can back it up. TJ Yeldon is a better receiving running back than he is a true running back. Well, he led the team in receiving yards, 7 catches for 83 yards. He was targeted more than anybody else, 9 targets. This is an issue too, because Dante Moncrief and DJ Chark and D.D. Westbrook and Keelan Cole, these guys have to step it up. Rashad Green was out there. They're going to the bottom of the barrel right now. David Greenidge, tight end, was out there. Blake Bell. This team does not have a lot of weapons right now. They have a lot of injuries. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, Marquise Lee, Leonard Fournette at those skill positions, the entire offensive line. I've said it before and I'll say it again. And this is something that is affecting this team. Blake Bortles is your best running back, but he's your quarterback. And TJ Yeldon's your best receiver, but he's your running back. So who's your best receiver? You don't have one right now. Who's your best running back? You don't have anything even close to being a good running back right now. Those are the issues. Those are the issues. And until those questions are answered, that's not Blake Bortles' fault by any stretch of the imagination. And it's tough. When a team is losing, what do you say? What can you say about this team and where they sit and what's going on? What can you say? They look like night and day of what they're supposed to be. By no stretch of the imagination is this team performing well. They look confused, frazzled, disjointed. And they're supposed to go out there and they're supposed to win games. They're supposed to go out there and they're supposed to be effective. You can't be effective when you can't connect with one another. You can't be effective when you're not on the same page. I know that I'm not saying anything that's crazy, and I'm not saying anything that doesn't make any sense, but the reality of it all is, how is this team supposed to move forward? How is this team supposed to move forward when we know that they can't focus together? They're not uniting together. They're not working together. And a house divided cannot stand. It's the absolute tremendous reality. A house divided cannot stand. It doesn't matter what you try to do to the house, it will not stand if it's disjointed. It can't. It can't and it never will. And that is the biggest issue in Jacksonville right now, is the fact that these guys can't figure out how to get it together. Now, they have a bye week right now, but it's about stopping the bleeding. They started the season out 3-1. In the next 4 games, 0-4. From 3-1 to 0-4. So if you split the season into pieces, right? There's 16 games. So you split it into 4 mini seasons. They won their first one. Their second one is atrocious, and they got 2 more to go. They lost to the Cowboys, who haven't been that good. They lost to the Chiefs in a game that should have been a lot closer. They lost to the Texans, who are not that good. And the Eagles have faltered. The Eagles gave them every opportunity to win the game. And they couldn't get it done. And now they're getting arrested. They're speaking out. Jalen Ramsey continues to be an issue. And that's all circling around this team. It's all circling around this team. And the easy thing to do is to say, Blake did it. Blake made this happen. It's all Blake's fault. If only Blake was better. If only Blake could do this. If only Blake could make this work. If only Blake could make that work. It's not all Blake Bortles' fault. By any stretch of the imagination, this is not all Bortles' fault. But I will tell you with utter certainty that there's no way that this team is going to improve without some tender love and care and some reality, some sitting down and discussing the situation and understanding where people are coming from. I would love to know if this team is sitting down and meeting with one another. I would love to know if they're talking to each other and what they're saying to each other. Because for me, I don't get it. For me, I don't understand how a team can be, and this is the thing, if you're not a Jacksonville fan, doesn't matter. If you're somebody who is cheering on the Bills or the Giants or the Jets or the Cowboys or the Steelers, the reality of it all is when your team is supposed to be a contender and they are not. Like, take it if you're a Steelers fan right now. Steelers fans feel great. They lost Le'Veon Bell. So the question was, how are they going to be contenders? How are they going to be strong? How are they going to be good? How are they going to make it happen? And look at them. Look at what they've done. Look at how good they've been, how strong they've been, how effective they've been. When the question was, how are they going to win games? How are they going to do it without Le'Veon Bell? And look at them now. The Steelers are having no issues. It's see you later, Le'Veon. It's who cares, Le'Veon. The team is 4-2-1. Cincinnati is pushing them. Baltimore is pushing them. And James Conner is killing it. James Conner right now is being nothing but explosive. Nothing but productive. Almost 5 yards a carry. 7 runs of 20 yards or more. 9 touchdowns rushing this season. 9. Already. And he's the team's third leading receiver with 323 yards. Behind Juju Smith-Schuster, who leads the team with 594 through 7 games, and Antonio Brown with 552. James Conner is almost at 1,000 yards through 7 games from scrimmage. He's averaging about 86 yards per game on the ground and another 46 catching the ball, which gives him about 130 per game. Now, I spoke highly of James Conner from the get-go when he was a Pitt Panther. He has scored in all but 2 games this season. And in the 5 games he's scored in, he has had multiple touchdowns in 4 of those 5 games. He scored 2 touchdowns against Cleveland, 2 touchdowns against Cincinnati, 2 against Atlanta, and 2 against Cleveland most recently. 3rd-round draft pick, 105th overall. Had to come back from leg injuries, had to come back from cancer. And the more and more and more and more and more that we see of this great man, the less and less and less we hear about, oh, Le'Veon Bell, what's Le'Veon Bell going to do? How's Le'Veon Bell going to make it? Where's Le'Veon Bell going to be? Is Le'Veon Bell? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And these are the mistakes that people need to understand. When you abandon your team, when you're not there, things come of this. Issues arise. When you are not with your team and you believe you're the best and you believe you should be there, and listen, the Le'Veon Bell situation, I could see both sides, okay? I could see and understand both sides. And I understand that, he wants his money, and I get that. And he wants longevity, and I get that. And he wants to be protected, and I get that. I completely, totally, utterly understand that. But when you are not on your team, look at what happens. You can get replaced at the drop of a hat. It can happen at any time. And that's the reality of it all. Is that he has essentially been replaced. How is it going to be done? How is James Conner even going to have any type of success? Remote success. And he has. He has had nothing but success. Much to the detriment of the mission of Le'Veon Bell. If you're Le'Veon Bell, you want this team to need you. You want this team to not know how to live without you, to beg you to come back. But they have Antonio Brown, and they have Jesse James, and they have Vance McDonald, and they have Juju Smith-Schuster, and they have James Conner, and they have Ben Roethlisberger, and they have, Chris Boswell. Shout out to Boz. They have a defense that has been able to produce. They don't need Le'Veon Bell. So I'm all about Le'Veon getting paid. I'm all about Le'Veon's job security. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. And I get that. I understand that. Now, it's millions and millions of dollars. So, if I was going to get paid $14 million for a season, and I was like, I don't have any job security because of the franchise tag, it's still $14 million. And I still could make that work for years and years and years and years and years and years. So I think I would figure out a way to be okay. So we're talking about, to a lot of us, this is monopoly money. This is like, how could this money be real? So I understand job security, and I understand wanting guaranteed money, and I understand a contract that protects you, and a contract that you're going to make money for the rest of your life. At the same time, if you sign a $40 million contract, that's more money than people see in a lifetime. Okay, let's say, just for giggles, let's say that you have, just for fun, let's say you make $40,000 a year for the next 50 years. That's $2 million. Okay? Let's say you make $100,000 a year and you work for 50 years. That's $5 million. So, $14 million. If you're making $40,000 a year, that would take you 350 years. So, I get the job security, and I get wanting to make the money and have it be guaranteed. And what if there's an injury? And what if there's this? Or what if there's that? I get all of that. I understand all of that. Trust me. But this man is playing with monopoly money. Okay? He's going to get a lot of money. No matter what, he's in good shape. So I feel bad, but then I don't. I understand, but then I don't. Because he was going to make $14 million this year. And like I said, if you make $100,000 a year before taxes and you work for 50 years, you will only have $5 million. If you make $100,000 a year, and this is before taxes, so it's not going to be this number. But let's pretend like taxes didn't exist. Oh, wouldn't we all be so happy? Let's pretend taxes didn't exist. And you make $100,000 a year, and you work 50 years of your life. 50 years of your life. And let's say you live to be 83, you work 50 years of your life. You're going to make $5 million. He would have made $14 million this year with no job security. Get your money. Take care of your family. But it's $14 million. If he gets a $60 million contract over the next 4 years, and you worked to try and make $60 million on $100,000 a year, just for fun. So you want to make $60 million, and you make $100,000 a year. That would take you 600 years. So, from Le'Veon Bell's point of view, you want to keep playing. And you want to be protected and get paid no matter what, even if you get hurt. Or if you don't perform well. But some of us will work 50 years and not even make half of what they were offering him with the franchise tag. And if Le'Veon Bell can't figure out a way to make $14 million work, we're looking at the span of a working lifetime, $5 million, over 50 years. So if you make $14 million in 1 year, and not 1 year, 16 games, you make $14 million over 16 games. You should be able to live the rest of your life on that money. Give yourself a little allowance, right? Let's say you make $14 million. So you say, okay, every year I'm going to spend $100,000. You could live to be 140. So let's say, okay, you know what? Well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of logical sense. So I got $14 million that I earned in 16 games, not even a full year, not even half a year. So I made $14 million, right, in 1 year. I'm going to allow myself to spend $250,000 a year. Okay, so now that's 56. So that'll only last me 56 years. So let's go a little bit lighter here. So I'm going to spend $200,000 a year. That gives me 70 years, and I'm already 20-something years. So if I live to be 100, I can live the rest of my life on 1 year's salary. I'm just brass taxing it for you all this morning. I'm mathematically, because I don't know if people are talking about the math. I haven't heard one person bring up the math. I would think it's pretty good job security to have $14 million to save and spend accordingly for the rest of my life. If somebody handed you $14 million right now, you'd be set. Somebody gave you $14 million. You're good. Because if you're making $100,000 or less over 50 years of working, you're only making $5 million and you're paying taxes. So maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3. To put it into perspective, if the Steelers wanted me to play football right now, I condition the hell. I got the heart. I got the brains. I can remember. I got a photographic memory. I can study that playbook and make it happen. I need to get myself on a track. I need to start running now. I'm going to lift some more. I'm going to do what I need to do. But I'm telling you, if they wanted to pay me $14 million, I would go, hey, okay. And if I got hurt and I could never play again, I think I'm going to be all right. So I get it, Le'Veon. I understand. I get it. But this is monopoly money. It's monopoly money. Alex Rodriguez could live how many lifetimes with the money that he's made? Even if you tax it and tax it and tax it and tax it, it's still a ton of money. That's the beauty of it all. For him. So, Le'Veon is going to have to figure it out because he's got to go somewhere. And I love the fact that Ben Roethlisberger has not shied away from making a point. And that point that he has essentially put forward. I mean, he joked about it last week. He said, it stinks that James Conner played so well and this is his last game and we'll never see him on the field again as a Steeler because Le'Veon Bell was supposed to come back, according to some reports. And again, I think it's just clickbait. Now, if these people are actually talking to Le'Veon, he's screwing with everybody, then I feel bad for the reporter. But if the reporter is just putting information out there to get you to click on their website and just start a conversation, because sometimes people do that, right? They start a rumor to see if it has traction. When you're growing up and you're in high school, somebody will be like, oh, Sarah's cheating on Billy. And then if there's really problems in the relationship that Sarah and Billy aren't talking about, they're not cheating on each other. Sarah didn't cheat on him, but now he's insecure. We realize his insecurities. Then we realize her inability to make him, her unwant to, make him feel better, and the back and forth between the two of them, and how she doesn't really care and he doesn't really care, and now they break up. So they never cheated on each other, but you started the telephone game, which led to that happening. And Le'Veon Bell, I mean, maybe that's what it is, maybe it's not, but Le'Veon Bell is obviously not reported. It looks like he has no intention of reporting. So all of these clickbait articles of, well, he said this and he said that. Now, as a broadcaster and a journalist of 15 plus years, I can tell you with utter certainty that sometimes people say things and do other things. Sometimes in recruiting all the time. I have a guy tell me I'm 100% Syracuse, I'm going to Syracuse. I put my story out 3 days later, I'm not going to Syracuse. Fans can't get mad at me about that. The guy told me he's going to Syracuse. Now, if I wrote a story that said he's going to Syracuse according to anonymous sources, and the sources didn't exist, and I was making it up, then it is my fault. Then I am a jerk, and then I am doing clickbait, and I am wasting your time. And that's not something that I would ever do, but I can't speak to the rest of the world on that. I'm not going to tell you something unless I heard it, and if I heard it, I want to feel confident about it. And if any part of my gut doesn't feel good, I don't put it out there. So I can appreciate Ben Roethlisberger with all this circus and all this drama on when's he coming back and yada, yada, yada. This team has played 7 games. We're in week 8 of the NFL. We're halfway through the regular season of the NFL. Okay? He's not a member of the team. He hasn't been on the team. He probably is not going to be on the team. So, why even discuss it? Why even have the conversation about it? Because at this point, what does it matter? Whether he's on the team or he's not on the team. He's not helping the team grow. He's not helping the team flourish. He's not helping the team move forward. He's not giving anything positive to the team. So who cares? And Ben, along those sentiments, quote, I don't want to talk about Le'Veon. I want to talk about this win and the guys that are here. Sorry. End quote. James Conner had 212 yards. Who cares about Le'Veon Bell? In the grand scheme of things right now. The trade deadline is coming up. Bell could show up at 4:01 p.m., 1 minute after the deadline expires. If he decides to come back this coming Wednesday, Halloween, October 31st, would be the official day of game planning. Bell could ensure he's not traded. Steelers can't trade Bell right now because he hasn't signed his franchise tag. You can't deal an unsigned player. He has to show up by November 13th, which is the Tuesday of Week 11, to be able to play this year. So he has 2 weeks from this Tuesday to report. If he decides to show up on Halloween, Le'Veon Bell would have forfeited $6.84 million of his $14.5 million franchise tag. He can't recoup that money, but he could still make $7.695 million of it. Now, Bell has to approve currently anywhere that they would trade him. So, allegedly, he's open to trade talks. But he has to sign the franchise tender. He has to sign the tag. He has to agree. Once he does, they can send him wherever the hell they want to send him. Now, if he skips the entire season, the Steelers still own his rights. And this would be the potential third franchise tag. Or they can transition tag him. They can trade him with a transition tag. So there are options for the Steelers. But why mess up a good thing? Why mess with that? Why do anything to the way the team is right now? No, 4-2-1 is not ideally the best, obviously. But who would have thought that this team with James Conner would be playing as well as they're playing? Who would have thought that this was going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers? They're on a 3-game winning streak. After tying the Browns to start the season in Cleveland, losing to the Chiefs in a very close shootout game, defeating the Bucs and losing to the Ravens, they've been on a 3-game winning streak against the Falcons, the Bengals, and the Browns. Falcons aren't a bad team this year. They held them to 17 points. Bengals aren't a bad team this year. They outdid them by a touchdown in Cincinnati. And the Browns have proven better. And the Steelers have proven that they've learned a thing or two in the last few weeks after tying the Browns in overtime at 21, and then this time around defeating them 33-18. They will have a week off to regroup. And, oh no, pardon me. They'll continue to play through. They don't have a week off. They just had a week off. So they'll be at the Ravens next on November 4th. And this team is fully functioning and moving forward without Le'Veon Bell. Right now, Le'Veon Bell has backed himself into a corner. He's lost almost $7 million. No matter how much he conditions, nothing can facilitate or simulate what playing in an NFL game is like. So, Le'Veon is missing out on eyes being on him. Questions arising of his body, and is he ready, and where's he at, and is he conditioned enough, and can he play? And then when you stay away, you're more prone to injury. And when you're a running back who stays away, you're more prone to injury. For some reason, running backs, it's tough. Running backs, wide receivers, and whatnot. Hamstring issues and whatnot. So, we're looking at this Le'Veon Bell saga where Le'Veon is losing money, time, eyes, for what? You don't want to be a Steeler anymore. So go somewhere else. Well, I want to dictate where I go. I want to dictate where I go, and I want to dictate, 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 and I want to dictate. Okay, well, guess what? The team is winning without you. They don't need you. But you need them to get you where you want to go. And you could tell them, I want to go to this team and this team and this team, and out of spite, they can make sure that that doesn't happen. Because they don't really care right now, I would think, about where you're at. They're moving on without you. They don't need your help. And they have more than proven the fact that they don't need you to win games. And they don't need you to be successful. So the clock is ticking on Le'Veon Bell, and he's putting himself more and more and more in a position that is very undesirable. You're not on the field. You're not gaining experience. You're not helping yourself. So what are you going to do? And unless you build some type of a relationship back with the Steelers, you're not going to get anything that you want. So if I'm the agent of Le'Veon Bell, I'd say, listen, this has gone on way too long. The team is winning without you. You are losing money every day. So could we please come to the table with some type of an agreement, some type of notion that this is going to be done? Because right now you are only hurting yourself. You're not helping yourself anymore. You've stated your case. You're unhappy. You've stated your case. You don't want to be in Pittsburgh. You've stated the fact that you don't like what they're offering. But now there's silence. Now they're winning. Now the story is, how good is James Conner? How well is James Conner playing? James Conner, the man of the moment. And that doesn't bode well for Le'Veon Bell. So if I'm Le'Veon Bell, who's going to make more money than you might make your entire life of working in a year, call up the Steelers and do what you need to do to move forward in your life. Because at this point, Le'Veon Bell is the only one losing. Money, experience, time. And to be completely honest with you, if I'm a general manager and I'm seeing this right now, as good as you are, Le'Veon, I got to figure out if this is just a bad marriage with the Steelers or if you're really a pain in the butt to work with. And if you're going to be a pain in the butt to work with, I'm not going to sign you either. So, make your money, young man. Make your money. Just understand that the money that you're making is what 3 people making $100,000 a year before taxes will make combined in 50 years of work for 1 year. Just understand that. And then move forward. We'll be moving forward here in just a moment after this fast break.
This is a wake-up call, fast break.
Utica Pizza Company spells family. Your family, my family, their family. The recipes that they have shared with each other throughout the years and have now been so gracious to share them with us. I can sit here and talk with you about all the great things that are on the menu. We'd be here forever. So let me say this. Utica Pizza Company is second to none. And now you can bring it home with you and you can dine in the restaurant. UticaPizzaCompany.com will give you all the information that you need. And let me say, these Utica greens, they're the best. Utica Pizza Company. Call them and place your order at 315-214-3060. That's 315-214-3060. Families break bread at Utica Pizza Company. Gear up with the real deal at Dry Sig Apparel, creating what people are going to see and learn about you before they even meet you. Gear up for what you need for your team, business, or event. To look professional, look good, and feel good, outfit yourself at DrySigApparel.com. That's DREISSIG Apparel.com. The only place to gear up with the real deal. What's the universal language of a fan? Clapping your hands. With Fan Hands, the ultimate sports fan accessory. Find your team color, slip them on, and start cheering on your favorite team with 11 different colors, always in stock on fanhands.com, where you'll find the ultimate sports fan accessory. Real fans wear fan hands.
Get Hilton quality service at the most affordable price at True by Hilton Camillus, located right next to Costco in Township 5. True by Hilton Camillus offers you their signature sport court where you can enjoy basketball, volleyball, pickleball, soccer, lacrosse, and more year-round in their indoor facility. For reservations and information, call 315-314-8676. That's 315-314-8676. True by Hilton Camillus. Hilton quality service at the most affordable price.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Always an honor and a privilege to speak with you every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I thank you so much for being a part of the show. You can always catch the show by going to wakeupcalldt.com and clicking on the Podbean podcast, the iTunes podcast, TuneIn Radio, and the RSS feed. If you go to any of those, they will bring you to the archive, and you can go directly to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, and that will take you to over 1,060 shows. And you can find those. They update every week. So when we do the shows live this week, all those shows will be added. You can go back and see the shows from last week, 2 weeks ago, 10 years, or not 10. Not 10. We go all the way back to July 2012. So you can go all the way back 6 years plus to check out what Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora has had, the guests that we've had, the topics that we've discussed, the signature segments, all the companies that we're proud to work with in Central and Upstate New York. You definitely want to go and check it out and spend some time with it. And I thank you all so much that have. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. So my hat's off to you and my thanks to you for being the great community that you are, that definitely has become a huge part of my life. And through the ups and downs of my life, I cannot thank you enough for the love and support now more than ever. So thank you for that. And thank you for all that you have done to be amazing and be tremendous. I do want to shout out, we have the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge, and I told everybody inside of these leagues that they would get a healthy shout out. And so it's time for me to do that. We have 4 leagues in Central New York, and we have 1 in Central Florida. I want to give a note here to my people in Central Florida. It hurts when I fart is and it's for Tyler Eifert. It's a great name. So 7-0 they are right now, but threatening that they may lose, and they're above me. I'm 4-3 currently. Obviously, there's a Monday night game, so the scores of this week are not done yet. My team is we play in chess, not checkers. Buckhammer's team is 2-5 in the East Division. In the West, the Neon Icons are 4-3. TSR Gigaxians are 3-4. Name change in progress 1-6, which typically at least is very good. So that's a tough one right now. And then we have in the North, Team Elite is 5-2. Orlando Breakers 3-4. Team Dominators 3-4. And in the South, Wicked Leicester 4-3. Orlando Fat Gators, which is Mike Sofka, who's with me every Thursday, is 4-3. And the SCW is 2-5. And we got some good games going on. I'm trying to see if I have anybody else. No, I don't have anybody else playing. So I'm in rough shape. Our scores are 149 to 176. Big time scores going on right now. And my buddy Jason Lucas, the Orlando Breakers, they just defeated the only undefeated team, which Ricardo Etienne, he had the undefeated team, the only undefeated team in our Wake Up Call Fantasy League in Florida. And he will now have a loss. So everybody will have a loss, as he was 7-0. To take a look at the teams inside of Central and Upstate New York, the standings, captains on call, Bunches of Funches in the east side of things is 6-1. and that's followed by Mel, who's 5-2. Myself, which is You Want a Pizza Me, and obviously my logo is a pizza. I'm 5-2. Hernandez Hitman is 2-5. Team Tamalate is 1-6. In the West Side, heller of a team is 5-2. Breeze through the competition is 3-4. Team Cologne's 3-4. El Guapolos is 3-4, and Team Lasher is 2-5 for the Captains on Call League, which is over at, we call home, the Wildcat Sports Pub. And then the Dream Chasers also over at the Wildcat Sports Pub. The East Side, Team Robinson's 5-2. Team Shoots 5-2. Smell My Fingers 5-2. I'm right behind that as my team has finally started winning. Harry Situations 4-3. Team Heller High H2O is 3-4. On the West Side, Team Newman is 6-1. Bunch the Terror Dogs is 2-5. Team Raw Juice is 2-5. And then we have another 2-5 team, and Wicked Warriors is 1-6 in the Cuse Contenders League. And if you're just tuning in here, giving the standings and showing some love to all of you Central and Upstate New Yorkers that are playing in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge, much love and appreciation for you being with us every year. The Cuse Contenders League over at the Wildcat Sports Pub, Bench Warmers is at the top at 5-2. Sack on My Johnson, wonderful names, 4-3. Turning Coughlin is my name, and I'm also 4-3. Chicks Dig the Pigskin 2 is 2-5. On the West Side, Kingslayers 4-3. The other guys are 4-3. Team Teeny is 3-4, and Team Incredible is 2-5. And finally, the Gridiron Gurus, Amateur Gynecologist is 4-3. I'm right behind that. Junkyard Dogs is my team at 4-3. Team Morel is 3-4. Team West is 2-5. Chargers Nation 24 is 2-5. On the West Side, DC Hitter is 6-1. Home Team Pub is 6-1. The Wildcat Pizza Pub's 3-4. Dan Don't Fire Me is 2-5, and Team Argiro is 1-6. So I promised that I'd show you some love and let you know what's up with the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge. So to everybody that is in the challenge, I want to thank every single one of you, from Greg to Mo to Mark to Dylan, Steve, Joey, Danny, Johnny, Alex, that are in these leagues, as well as, I want to make sure I don't forget anybody, Jean-Pierre, Diane, Johnny, Rebecca, Jimmy, Aaron. Want to thank all of you for being a part of these leagues as well in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge. Kevin, Andrew, John, Bill, Jordan, Eric, Giuseppe, Doug. Want to thank each of you, and I also want to give a special thanks to Deb, to Zach, to Mel, David, Nate, Phil, Nick, Julian, Justin, and then finally a special thanks to Rick, Mark, Trey, Nicholas, Lisa, Stefan, Jason, Dominic, Eric, C, Mike, and Brennan. So much love to everybody that's in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge. And if you're in the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football Challenge, you know that you have a special card that gives you a special promotion every time you go to the Wildcat Sports Pub. So make sure you use it, keep it in your wallet, and present it every time you are ordering something at the Wildcat Sports Pub, and you will make sure to get your discount on your food. So anytime you go and you get food and you have that card and you're a card-carrying member of the Fantasy Football Challenge for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, you will be taken care of. And thank you to the Wildcat for that. Thank you to the Wildcat for all of the overall hospitality in general. With that being said, let's take our final step aside of the show, and I'll get you set for the rest of the week here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And again, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're being good to each other. Make sure that you spend time, even just with yourself, to find that peace. And be good to yourself and be good to the people around you. You never know what somebody else is going through, and nobody ever deserves to be treated poorly. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
Get Hilton quality service at the most affordable price at True by Hilton Camillus, located right next to Costco in Township 5. True by Hilton Camillus offers you their signature Top It breakfast bar with over 30 different toppings to personalize the most important meal of the day. All complimentary with your stay. For reservations and information, call 315-314-8676. That's 315-314-8676. True by Hilton Camillus. Hilton quality service at the most affordable price.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Consistency is, well, consistently hard to find, unless you head to 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, the home of the Pen and Trophy Center, who has been serving us Central and Upstate New Yorkers, as well as beyond, for decades. The Pen and Trophy Center on 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York, gives you an amazing and unique way to customize a memory today. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. Be it an Employee of the Month award, a sports award, something for your business, engraving for your family, your loved ones, anniversaries, birthday parties, and so much more, including remembering somebody who served in the military. Say it with the Pen and Trophy Center. 119 East 2nd Street in East Syracuse, New York. The definition of consistency is pen and trophy. Browse their products on penandtrophy.com. That's penandtrophy.com, and call them for more information at 315-422-8797. That's 315-422-8797. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Getting you ready for the rest of the week. There is plenty to come up on this week of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. West Genesee and CNS have both won their game over this past weekend, the Friday Night Lights. They both won. CNS defeated FM. West Genesee defeated Liverpool, which means they're both going to be inside of the Carrier Dome, which is huge, especially with me knowing both of these teams well and getting to do a lot with West Genesee over at the Wildcat Sports Pub and a lot with the CNS team over at Chick-fil-A Cicero. So with that being said, this is going to be a big-time game, an awesome game that I'm very excited about, and I'm just, to me, this is going to be a tremendous game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So big ups to both of them. West Genesee edging out Liverpool 17-14. So CNS and West Genesee will face off Saturday in the Carrier Dome. This coming Saturday, inside of the Carrier Dome, they will face off against one another. I cannot wait for this moment. I'm very, very excited about it. So we will have Joe Corley of West Genesee, the head coach, back on the show. We'll have Dave Klein, head coach of CNS, back on the show. We will also be featuring my one-on-one conversations with the 6-2 Orange with wide receiver Taj Harris, as well as running back Jarvion Howard. I had an opportunity to speak with Dino Babers after the game about, in his third season, becoming bowl eligible and staying the course and trusting the process and believing in his plan and his mission. So you'll hear what he had to say about that. We also have the ingredients to success, proudly brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and It's a Utica Thing coming up this Tuesday. And so much more is coming up this week on the broadcast. You're going to hear from the Syracuse Stallions, who played their first ever game in the history of professional basketball, coming back to Syracuse with the Syracuse Stallions inside of the ABA. We're going to have the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub and Penn and Trophy Center on Thursday with Mike Sofka of Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com. We're going to have Coaching with Class with Katie Kalinsky on Thursday. Papa Joe's Picks College Football Talk on Thursday. Friday's Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly brought to you by Carvel DeWitt. We have significant sound bites on Friday. And, of course, FML Friday Morning Live with John and Jordan Newman on video and audio. So we have a jam-packed, awesome, amazing week coming up for you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I cannot wait for you to hear it. I thank you for listening today. Please find me on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT and click that little button like and read some stories and listen to some shows and watch some videos. And also on Twitter at CallDT. Click that follow button. And on Instagram, click that follow button right there too at wakeupcall_DT. And you can go to wakeupcalldt.com for all of the articles, the videos, the interviews, and the archive, the RSS feed, the iTunes podcast, the Podbean podcast, and TuneIn Radio. We're also on other outlets like youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, Player FM, and so much more. So make sure you're connecting with the show. God bless each and every one of you. Have yourselves a phenomenal Monday. And my piece of Monday motivation for you, don't try to be anything other than what you are. Love yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful inside and out. And I love you to pieces. And I got your back. Okay? Tell yourself that today in the mirror. Inside and out, you are beautiful. And you don't have to be anybody else. You just have to be you. And it doesn't matter if somebody else isn't going to love you for that. You got to love you before anybody else can. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll talk with you soon. God bless.